It is a beautiful day in Pennsylvania. I'm up on top of a mountain in central Pennsylvania. This is my 2021 Intense Tazer MX Pro. I've had this bike about 2.5 years now, and every time I come to Pennsylvania, the first thing I do is ride up on top of the mountain, take some fire roads. I'm on some trails. I had this bike up here, I think over December when everything's all frozen and cold. It's fun to come back here in July and it's like a green tunnel, but I really enjoy this bike. I'm a moto guy at heart. That's what I do most of the time, and jumping on an mountain bike that feels like a motorbike just feels comfortable. We've got the Renthal bars. I went to the 40 mil rise. I think stock is 30. It's got the Ohlins dual crown fork, DH38 M1 dual chambers, so you can kind of set the bottoming resistance on it for the bottoming chamber, and then the upper chamber you can run a little lower so it'll be more supple. There's lots of rocks. It's got here in Pennsylvania on these trails. There's a spring Ohlins damper in the back, adjustable, which I like. It's a mullet, so we got the 29 up front and the big tire 27.5 in the back. They are kind of beefy tires. It's intense, so this geometry and the way the bike feels in terms of my weight position on the pedal, front to rear wheel, feels really good. I like the super simple pop this out. We got a 500 watt hour battery. That's kind of a plus or minus. The plus is it's light. It's held low in the chassis. Super easy to access. The negative would be for some people 500 watt hours just isn't enough. It's enough for my rides. It's plenty for me, and I enjoy the advantage of the lighter feel, kind of low on the chassis. Shimano motor, EP8. It's got good torque feel. You can tune it a little bit with the app in terms of the assist levels, because it comes in Eco, Trail, or Boost. 3 different modes you can click on from the handlebar switch. But it's a Shimano EP8, so we all know the weakness of that is just the gear rattle in it. It's not a big deal for me. It's got the DRXT. It's only an 11 speed in the back. I think the newer ones have 12s. This bike retailed for $8,000 when it came out a couple years ago. I think they're on the Intense website now for $49.99, $5,000. So it's full carbon. It's light. It's got good wheels. It's got the Magura brakes. These are great brakes. Man, it's got a great dropper post. I like the tires. Really, I like everything about the bike. So, and now they're cheaper. It's like a win-win situation. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to go on this trail that I ride. Last time I was here, it was the winter, and this isn't some kind of groomed trail. This is almost like a deer trail or fire, just like I don't really know how it's got here, but it's kind of cool to play around on this bike on this little trail here. It's like a green tunnel in some parts. The brakes are a little talking to me this morning. There's a little bit of dew in some of the areas, so get a little moisture on them and make some noise. But like I mentioned, the Intense, I like the way this bike feels. I'm 6'2", 190 pounds, and I run, this is a large, extra large, but that's how they sell it, but technically it's just an extra large. But it doesn't feel massive to me. It's just real easy for me to kind of jump on this bike after being on my motocross bikes. When you get on some of these little rocks, some of the chop, you'll start to hear a little bit of the Shimano EP8 rattle. When you're pedaling, it's not, I don't really notice it. Oh. But I really do like the way these things feel. Just the geometry, it's kind of relaxed, laid back. I ride it a lot in Eco, and the Shimano motor, depending on your cadence, it'll give you a lot of assistance. You go to Boost, it really gets fun. You just blast up the hills. It's so fun to come back here in the winter. You can kind of see through the woods, but now it's all greened up really nice. Super neat to just get up on the mountain and ride. Now we'll get out onto some rocky stuff. And I put it in boost. You can easily get right up to that 15 or 20 mile an hour assist limit. And I like having the Ohlins suspension when I'm here on all this choppy rock stuff. Now, as I mentioned, I've had the bike 2.5 years. I've really never had any issue with it. Battery charge is good, and motors work fine. Nuts and bolts stay tight. I check them every once in a while. Haven't found any issues. But this kind of the e-mountain bike, I just love you taking these things and exploring, just going on some trails. And now this is probably where you can get a little bit of that rattle. I don't know if it'll pick it up on the mics or not. Of the EP8 Shimano motor. But certainly not like a big issue by any means. So, intense Tazer MX Pro. Love the geometry. This is large, extra large. I'm 6'2", 190. The Ohlins suspension, 170 travel up front is great. 155 in the back. Very adjustable. Magura brakes are good. Moto-y. Oh yeah, one other thing. When you have these dual crown forks, they don't steer too sharp. I don't really notice it unless I'm maneuvering the bike in the garage, or sometimes on a super tight trail you might get to the stopper on it, but I love the look and the feel of them. I think they do make this same fork with a single crown, but this is the way the bike came. I really enjoy it. Tazer MX Pro, 2 thumbs up from a beautiful day on a mountaintop in Pennsylvania.